Oh, baby.
Go, gadget methadone dispenser.
I put gin on top of my gin.
And I already shake with discomfort. And all of that was
The collection of short stories by Judy
by Judy Bloom. You ever smell the inside of a hat?
I liked it. It smelled like you.
Craigslist for
Craigslist?
No, but worse than that.
Zig and Larry ignore a topic. The best parts of hanging out with these guys. Without the hangover.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, sunshine. How you doing?
Well, I am deep into the cups.
Oh, good for you. My first question is, since you are obviously prepared to help me out here, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, listeners, we have our new microphone. It's got a boom arm. It's fantastic. It is now in my face, and it's very distracting, but it works. Hooray!
It's not the first time something's been in your face and distracting.
That is a very good point. Welcome to Zig and Larry Ignore a Podcast, the only podcast where the hosts ignore what they're supposed to be doing and go on a real big train wreck, like we did last episode.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Poland.
Thank you, Poland. And currently Larry's background is just a map of Poland.
It sure is, and that's not intentional. That's not what we wanted.
What's wrong with that?
You know what? Nothing. It's perfectly fine.
Beautiful. There's all these names of towns that I can't pronounce. I also mistakenly said that it was a Cyrillic alphabet. It is not. Polish does not use the Cyrillic alphabet. I'm an idiot. There's a little bit of interesting punctuation that they utilize. Also, it's not entirely landlocked. I believe it's the Baltic Sea. I could be completely wrong about that again because I also have been drinking. However, what we got wrong about Poland, we make up for in our love for you.
For me? Or the listeners?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Here we are.
How was your week, pal?
Well, you know, working overtime every day for the old day job and screaming into nothing. How are you?
So par for the course?
Yeah, just the same old.
I'm good, man. Basically the same. I learned the sound a distressed elderly chihuahua makes when it is frozen to the sidewalk. It's not pleasant. Poor little fuck put his foot in a puddle and it froze around him almost immediately, or it got stuck in there or whatever, but he freaked out immediately.
Yeah, well,
like a suckling pig about to get a goddamn apple in his mouth.
I've been there.
The fuck out.
I've been there. I understand his plight. Poor little fella. Holy shit.
I've just been doing a lot of just aging and doing it poorly, or doing it my way, doing it our way, doing it my and old Blue Eyes' way.
Me, you, Blue Eyes, and probably someone named Hobo Jim.
I couldn't come up with the name Sinatra. That's why we went with Blue Eyes.
I have been drinking for nearly 5 hours.
Okay, so you are where I was during Poland.
Well, I mean, maybe? I don't know. I don't have a good gauge when it comes to this. I'm drinking from my pint glass.
What's in the pint glass du jour today?
A lot of gin, a squeeze of blood orange, and then topped with Italian blood orange soda.
Oh, there you go. I'm so thankful for the word orange in there. It's a lot of gin, ox blood, and a decoagulant. And you just stir that up.
You ever had oxtail gin? Oxtail gin is fantastic. It's an old world from Poland.
Simpleton whiskey. Oxtail gin.
Our sponsor, Simpleton Whiskey. Yes, Simpleton Whiskey. Do you sometimes forget to zip your pants, and when you do zip them, it's something extra? Simpleton Whiskey.
For the simpleton. If you know what a window tastes like. I put myself, remember that episode for the people who make the Pisky?
Yes.
I put myself on their email list.
Uh-huh.
Same way I put yours on? Nothing.
Nothing.
They do no marketing.
No, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in in Gilpin Family Pisky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did discover something I'm very excited to share with you. Please hit me with yours, and then I'm going to take us down a rabbit hole of delicious.
No, I was just going to point out that my buddy Andrew texted me this week and had been catching up on episodes, and he wanted me to make sure that the phrase, "I'm going to need some ointment and some form of salve," makes it on a t-shirt sometime.
Well, it's probably going to make it into this episode, but that's just because we are who we are.
And I'm also very excited to receive the Superb Owl this weekend.
The what?
The Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl.
Yes.
Oh, it's a Super Bowl episode.
Is it? I don't know.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm just excited for an owl who wears a monocle and a top hat.
You're doing a really bad dad joke, which isn't even a pun. You're pretending like you think the Super Bowl is a superb owl.
Why can't it be?
Well, I'm going to tell you you're better than it. Nothing that just happened.
No, I am not better than that. I love the idea of a superb owl.
I will not be watching it, as is my hatred for the NFL. Sorry, anybody. It's just not hatred. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. If you listen to me getting drunk on NPR with Larry, you'll know that what I don't like is sports. And I ran a sports bar for about 6-7 years, and I didn't like sports going in, and I really didn't like it coming out. It's just not my thing, though. I'm not gonna poo-poo something that brings a bunch of people joy. Really, I just don't want to. But it's just I don't get it. I get gladiatorial games. I get like that. It's like once every several years in some place in Italy. I think we talked about it, where a bunch of really beefy men just beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
It's like a street brawl, and they pretend like they're trying to get a ball from one goal to the other.
Yeah, I'm down. Like I don't particularly care about the Super Bowl. I don't. Are we even allowed to use that? I think we're supposed to call it the big game, because Super Bowl is now copywritten.
Yeah, that's great. Nobody's coming after us.
Yeah,
if they can't find us. They don't know where the danger dungeon is.
Yeah, come sue me. I got nothing. I've got...
Just keep looking for something around the train tracks in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a while to find your kid.
Yeah, I've got an MTV pint glass and a coon skin cap. That's... You want those? Fine. Take them. We'll just have to save up our money to replace them again.
And conceivably more than one cosplay drag outfit.
Yes. Oh, well.
At least the one.
For certain.
We are, however, on Sunday, we're going to be making pizza from scratch. I'm going to be making buffalo wings and buffalo shrimp as well.
Okay.
Because it seems un-American not to.
Yeah.
Because, I am a patriot, even though I hate most of everything. Anything that you can consider to be American outside of... there's no joke there. I mostly hate everything.
Yeah.
But it feels un-American to not make stupid food. And we will be watching... Ange, my wife, has never seen any, and I haven't seen much, of the Puppy Bowl. So that's what she's really into. And I'll watch that for a solid 20 minutes before I'm sick of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch the Puppy Bowl. We got some whole wings, like some big meaty motherfuckers, and we're gonna make some homemade wings and just have a bunch of ridiculous snack food and not watch the game, which is our tradition.
I'll watch some of the whatever nonsense, but that's all right. That's it. I'm very pleased with myself. I'm gonna do a quick sidebar, and then I really want you to listen to some of the shit that I found. I went on a click hole, and it spurred this whole episode. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Larry. Because it starts with fact and it ends with us waxing philosophical about bullshit. So shove a chili pepper in your ass because life is pain. But you can slit it down the middle if you want beforehand. Again, we don't kink shame. No, that's not true. Larry doesn't. I do. But I made... it's like we're going grocery shopping tomorrow, So it's like the end of the larder. It's like we were not going to get through the winter. We have to make, what do we got? I made a seafood stock and pear curry. That worked out like gangbusters, amazingly. A curry's a little bit, it's generous, but I'm such a dork. I had homemade shrimp stock that I had made, I don't know, however long ago, when I froze it in like ice cubes. I turned that into a sauce with that. The one Danjou pear that I diced up, threw in the NutriBullet, because it was like looking at me like, tomorrow's the day, man. You don't use me today, I'm jumping off this fucking counter. I am done. It's today or Valhalla. Here I come.
Prepare yourself, Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, exactly. So it's where you take a peeler, and the peeler just kind of like doesn't take the peel off; it just kind of oozes into it. Like, okay, so we need to go a half inch in. Got it, half inch.
Yeah, got it. We're just get all the mush off.
With some garlic and the shrimp, a couple of cubes of the shrimp stock that I had, all that good stuff. A little bit of white wine, a irresponsible amount of Irish butter, if I'm totally honest. And then, like salt, pepper, garlic. I sauteed 2 different kinds of onions. It was like everything I had left. Just put it in there, and then ended up blending it, and then just slow simmering it for a while. Dude, I put that over rice and shrimp.
Yeah.
With like the last remainder of a couple of peppers and some like some sad carrots, 2-week-old carrots that are hanging on for dear life. All of my produce at the end of 2 weeks is this close to taking their own life. It's seppuku.
Do something with me, or this is it.
Yeah, and I feel a need to do something, but it came out really good, man. And then I put ginger, turmeric, a little bit of garam masala, a little bit of cardamom. I want to call it shrimp pear curry, which doesn't sound good.
No.
Actually, yeah.
No, if you offered me that, I would probably slap you, and then apologize. But
I'd let you taste it first. That's one of those where, like, here, try my sauce, because nobody's afraid of sauce. Like, everybody wants to try your sauce. If you're there cooking and your buddy's cooking, if your buddy's cooking over a goddamn stove and he's stirring something, it's like, can you come over here and try my sauce? Because everybody wants to give their fucking opinion over your goddamn sauce. So you're like, yeah. And then that's delicious. What is that? Shrimp pear curry. Is it? I don't know. I'm making it up.
I'm sure it is. We made a stir fry using those little that you introduced us to, the little sticky sweet red sausages.
Yeah, and I totally remember found out the name of them, and I'm never going to come up with it now. But yeah, the little Asian...
Yeah, the little Filipino boys is what we call them. Yeah.
Whatever, they're delightful.
Yeah, we took them out of the casings and made a stir fry with those last night, and wow. We just...
That's still the one that brought you guys? Or did you find a place that had them?
We have an Asian market here.
Oh.
So we used those, and then Nicole found some more.
Nice.
At the Asian market, and she froze them. So she was just like, because we've been shopping the freezer a lot lately, because got to the point where we're like, we have no room for anything right now. It's all packed full. We have to start like working our way through this, and so yeah, we've been going through the freezer and trying to just be creative. And she was last night, she's like, we're having a stir fry, just start throwing spices in. And I was like, okay,
we're having a stir fry, aka grab whatever you can find, throw it overhand into the biggest fucking pan we got. We're calling it a walk.
Yeah.
Sold. Yeah,
but tonight we had some buffalo burgers, and we did takeout tonight. It was fun.
Nice.
Takeout. We did buffalo burgers, and there's this place here in town called Westwood's Bar and Grill, and they do a lot of like wild game, and so we got some duck egg rolls, and these things they call them pine cones, and it's just deep fried mashed potatoes.
And it's a pine cone.
It's a pine cone.
$4 a pop, but they put paprika in that shit.
There's some cumin as well, just a pinch of cumin, and they put some taco sauce as a dipper, and you can't go wrong.
And that taco sauce is straight up stolen from Taco Bell. They just Sharpie out Taco Bell in there, but you can still see where it's fine.
Yeah, and it's fine. You know what though? I'm with it. But
it's not worth the money, but it's worth the story, like most of my life.
A memoir.
I was watching you choke on your gallon of gin and blood.
Watching you choke on your gallon of gin and blood. Wasn't that a Marilyn Manson album?
No, it was the first attempt that I ever had at writing a limerick before I knew what a limerick was.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that they were to be done in Sunday school. I got so much wrong that day.
Yeah, that was the day. The day that I was asked to leave the clergy.
God, it's going to be one of those where word finding is impossible.
Yeah, it sure is.
Let's do 2 of those in a row. Why not? I'm going to let somebody else do the talking because I want you to listen to this, and I hope that you don't remember this as well. I went down a clickhole, pal. Okay, so itty bitty bit of context. Do you remember Rax? RAX, fast food joint.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They had them in Illinois. They had them. They had them one around me growing up, but like in Peoria, so not terribly close. Excuse me. It was like it's like an Arby's kind of, but like they were in the 70s, 80s, and they went tits up in the 90s. But it was like a adults fast food joint was their shtick. They did roast beef sandwiches, and they did they had a. Remember back when buffets were a thing 12 months ago, but when fast food joints
of course I remember when buffets were a thing. Look at me.
Remember when fast food joints attempted to do all you can eat bars, like all you can eat salad bars? Rax went a little bit nuts. In their place where you get they don't have curly fries, they have twisty fries.
Okay, all right.
But they have an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and then they added pasta, and then they added pizza. So it's all-you-can-eat carbon salad bar. And they did a lot of really bad advertising, but it was the late 80s, early 90s. But do you remember any of the ads, and do you remember Mr. Delicious?
I don't.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. So I'm going to play, I'm going to say 4 of these. Mr. Delicious, I'm gonna give you a little bit of context because you can't see it. It was a spokesman. Okay, it was an advertising campaign, like Tony the Tiger, Mr. Delicious. He's a cartoon. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. You're probably not.
Okay, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Delicious, he's a cartoon. He's black and white. He kind of looks like, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he kind of looks like the guy who did A Prairie Home Companion.
Garrison Keillor. Yes.
Yeah, Garrison Keillor. With a briefcase that says Mr. D. And
oh no.
He is the spokesman for Rax.
Okay.
Now, is it coincidence that they went tits up a year after they rolled out Mr. D? Is it a coincidence that Mr. Delicious only has a handful of ads? Is it a coincidence that we're going to love him? I don't know, because I'm not a doctor. But here is the very first TV ad for Mr. Delicious, okay? Give it a moment. I want you to take it all in, and we will discuss. Let me know if you can hear this here.
Hello, I'm Mr. Delicious,
You hear that?
the new spokesman for Rax Restaurants. My job? To encourage you to enjoy tasty, affordable meals in a more mature dining environment. I know what you're thinking. He's a cartoon, and cartoons are mostly for people who wet their pants. But not Mr. D. He's a special cartoon for adults. And Mr. Delicious always carries his briefcase. Contents? Watch for me and visit Rax. Dickety-dee.
Okay, so that's how you introduce Mr. Delicious.
Wait,
to the world.
what was the last thing he said? Dickety D?
That is something I would like to bring up with Mr. Delicious. There's a whole lot of fucking mystery around Mr. Delicious. He's like, Mr. Delicious always has his briefcase. What's his briefcase? Stick around. Diggity D. That's terrifying.
No.
Terrifying in the best possible way.
That's some Quentin Tarantino. What's in Marcellus Wallace's briefcase bullshit?
Marcellus
Diggity D. No, I'm not gonna diggity your D. No, thank you, Mr. Delicious.
TV in the Midwest. Rax at this point, I don't know if at this point, but at one point they had 500 stores in the U.S. There are currently now 3. One of them is not terribly far from me in Joliet, but they're privately owned. You know what I mean? Like the corporation is gone. And Mr. D did a whole lot. I love this one because he introduces everybody. That stupid, like, elevator music in the background. He's middle-aged.
Yeah.
He's a middle-aged spokesman who is a black and white cartoon who acknowledges that he's a cartoon and says cartoons are typically for people who wet their pants, not Mr. D.
You know, I know why it didn't work out, because there's enough of us from the Midwest that had an uncle who looked very similar to that referred to himself as Mr. Delicious. And none of us have good memories of him. So no, I don't want to know what's in your Diggity D briefcase, because I've already seen it.
I'm going to tell you, after a couple of more spots, you might be curious about what's in this briefcase.
Well, hit me. You know what? This is exactly why I ended up in the back of that van. Let's go.
So good. So I've got 3 more ads I want to play for you. And these were radio ads, back when radio advertising was a thing. So they could pay for a minute at a time. So there's no cartoon to show you. So this is just like, okay, so this is, yeah, in my favorite order. First of 3 radio ads.
Okay.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Delicious, the new cartoon spokesman for Rax Restaurants. My job? To encourage you to enjoy tasty, affordable meals in a more mature dining environment. You see, Mr. Delicious doesn't appreciate unnecessary commotion while he's eating. It brings out the dangerous, hostile side in Mr. D. At least that's what his analyst says. Anyway, at Rax, Mr. Delicious can enjoy a tasty sandwich or salad without bright yellow formica upsetting his stomach. He can rest his feet on carpet, since Rax has confidence that Mr. D won't drop his twisty fries. He can lose himself in a cheap romance novel without his elbows sticking to the table. And Mr. Delicious always leaves Rax with a few bucks left. That's just grand, because his analyst charges a lot to keep Mr. D's hostility all locked up. So if you're looking for a stress-free fast food alternative, visit Rax and tell him Mr. Delicious sent you. Diggity D.
Diggity D!
Did you catch the tagline, by the way? Well, how they were doing the tagline after Diggity D? The tagline for the restaurant was Rax, you can eat here. That was their catchphrase. That was their Nike just do it. Because you can eat here.
You can eat here.
Oh,
It sounds like more like a threat than it does anything else. You can eat here.
Bathroom, you can shit here too.
There's a stall. You can have privacy and jerk here too.
I have a feeling that whoever's writing these is going down a rabbit hole. It is phenomenal. That was so much just obvious hostility.
That's a guy that hates children. He's got a windowless van, and he's taking care of what he refers to as the scourge of society.
He's taking get off my lawn to the next level. He's not touching kids. He's hitting them with a fucking pipe.
My lawn is the entire planet.
According to this ad, he likes walking on carpet because he knows that goddamn snot-nosed little children will be dropping ketchup and fries on the floor, and he appreciates the fact that the people at Rax trust him enough to not make a mess while he's eating, while he's watching his trashy romance novels for some fucking reason. And I love that sticky, what do you say, the horrible yellow formica.
Yeah.
He's basically just doing a big fuck you to McDonald's and saying that my elbows stick to the table because everything's disgusting with children.
Children are gross. Eat at Rax.
And tell me this is coming through, that you can hear all this. He said he likes Rax because they have a reasonably priced menu, because his analyst charges a lot to keep his anxiety and hostility all bottled up. The goal of Mr. D's therapy is just to cork his anger and violence.
It's not to even treat it, it's just keep it down.
We are not trying to cure this man. We are just trying to keep him away from society. We know he's going to pop, but we can't put him in jail for a future probable crime. So we're going to pay an analyst.
Well, this isn't a Tom Cruise movie. We can't anticipate his crime. We know it's going to happen. We have a squad car on him at all times.
Picture blowing up a gigantic red balloon. This red balloon demonstrates and represents Mr. D's diggity goddamn hostility towards children and the rest of the world. It keeps when it blows up, and it's like, oh, you know it's about to pop. The analyst's job is to suck out just enough air that it doesn't explode. The rage is still there.
They hired Michael Douglas's character from Falling Down.
Complete with the horn-rimmed glasses.
Horn-rimmed glasses and a briefcase full of guns.
And a briefcase full of, huh?
Diggity dee, I want breakfast for me.
It could be razor blades. It could be condoms covered in glass and just small shards.
Just dildos with nails through them.
Oh, yeah. So let's take another quick trip. We got 2 more of these that I'd like to do. By the way, Mr. D, I could only find online 7 total ads. That's as far as Mr. D got before Rax went, you know what? Bankruptcy sounds nice. Anybody else? Yeah, we did this.
7 ads before the incident.
There's also, you and I should just get together and watch this, even over Zoom. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to do it with you. We could review it. There's a 15-minute documentary, not unlike the Mario Lopez goddamn thing for KFC, where it's just, but this is from the 80s, where they talk about Mr. D and how much of a success he is. It's like a documentary / advertisement, 15 minutes that they put out. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm so interested. I waited for you like Christmas fucking morning. Like, my mom always just gets so pissed at me if I snuck down to open presents without her watching. I felt like that. I'm like, I want to watch this, but if I do it without Larry, he's going to be upset. I love to do it. Because I know you're going to love Mr. D. Here's number 2 of the radio ads. Here we go.
Well, hello. Remember me? I'm Mr. Delicious. Did you know the Rack's Value menu features a full array of adult-sized delectables for only 99 cents each?
Oh.
That's right. And Mr. Delicious can really appreciate a bargain like that. After all, he's still trying to recover from that bout with midlife crisis in '89. Fortunately, he was able to sell the Porsche back to the dealer. But much to his chagrin, Mr. Delicious discovered that custom-designed hair weaves are non-refundable. Same for the rotating disco glitter ball he installed in the basement. And that vacation he took to Bora Bora with those 2 young friends, well, that left Mr. Delicious feeling empty and unfulfilled. Unlike the robust sandwiches, baked potatoes, and refreshing drinks on the Rack's Value menu for only 99 cents
Listeners,
each.
Larry is dying.
Tickety-dee.
Value menu.
Diggity dee, I probably had gay sex, is what that fucking boiled down to.
Rex, you can eat there, goddammit. So let's unpack number 2. So Mr. D is I'm considering this a journey that we're taking with Mr. Delicious.
I'm concerned for Mr. Delicious. I have legit worries about this poor man.
The more you say Mr. Delicious, the worse it sounds listening to these. Because I can say, remember Mr. Delicious? He was a cartoon spokesman for a fast food chain in the 80s. That doesn't sound weird at all.
No.
Listen to a few of these ads and keep saying Mr. Delicious. And it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Here's what bothers me.
Mr. D went through some shit in this episode. In this ad, he went through a fucking...
He sold back the Porsche so that he could take 2 child friends to Bora Bora. It's very vague. I'm assuming it's some type of Laotian child bride situation.
He took 2 young whores to Bora Bora.
I took 2 young friends and a large dog cage to Bora Bora.
You can eat here?
No.
That pause. 2 young
friends. Jesus.
Oh, God.
That's what's in his goddamn briefcase, are those 2 young friends.
Oh, God. That's just like... The problem is that you always knew that Vincent Price was joking. You don't know that Mr. Delicious is.
Mr. Delicious is straight up not joking.
No.
I think Mr. Delicious is actually Bob Odenkirk's character in that new movie that's coming out where he's a badass.
Yeah, who hired Bob Odenkirk as an action star? Brilliant idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
I can't wait to...
holy shit. So
in our attempt to sell you roast beef sandwiches for $1 a pop, Larry, this is what we've done.
And a baked potato.
A middle-aged gentleman and a baked potato, and all you can eat pasta from a fucking bar for pennies on the dollar. We've hired this gentleman, and this is a radio ad. This is drive time. You're going to or from work. We're trying to get you to pull the car over between your place of employment and your home to pick up some fucking twisty fries. And here's what we've come up with. Mr. D's upset. He's got bottled up anger. He took 2 child whores to Bora Bora, which also upsets me because that's right next to Tahiti, which is where I took my honeymoon. And I really don't want to really upset that. Tahiti and Marina, we had a great time. Bora Bora was on the list. I'm kind of glad we didn't. I mean, it just
You'd have ran into Mr. Delicious in his briefcase.
Yeah, God. And it left him feeling empty inside. It left him feeling unfulfilled, or whatever it says. So he took 2 child whores on vacation, banged the hell out of them, and what happened to them? Did they come back?
No. If they did, they were in the briefcase. And let's face it, in the late 80s, early 90s, no one was checking anything on an airplane.
Oh, this is long before 9/11. You could get on board with a broken bottle, you don't even need the phrase emotional support animal. It could just be a snake, like a poisonous snake that you have in your hand.
Just an AK-47 around your neck, just hanging from a strap, and people are just like, "Sir," and be like, "I have a permit," and they're like, "Oh, he's got a permit. Go on, Mister. Oh, you're Mr. Delicious. I'm so sorry."
This is my attack wombat and my 2 Laotian child whores. Will the child whores fit in the overhead compartment? Absolutely, if you bend them enough.
And trust me, I did.
Jesus Christ.
What?
We're going to do one more. We're gonna do one more.
There was one other thing that there's a lot that bothers me about this, but what I was going to say, Zing, is in the late 80s, early 90s, though, because at first I'm like, who's going to relate to this and be like, this is where I want to stop? But how much repressed everything did adult middle-aged men have
Obviously.
in the late 80s and early 90s that they're going to hear this and be like, that's where I want to get a baked potato and a cup of black coffee?
That is a very good point. That being an asshole, I never would have come up with it. You being a decent human being, you have. It's like you are trying to figure out, how did these horrible advertising people get in the minds of the average middle-aged man 20 to 30 years ago? It's like, well, he was very sad. He wasn't allowed to show emotion, and it came out in certain ways. He had child whores, he drank a lot, he hit people, and then apologized for them. So we lean on that to get him to buy a roast beef sandwich? Yes, absolutely. Very good. Here's
when the Racks drive-through knew when to call the cops. If they order baked potato, black coffee. Okay, would you like anything on that baked potato? No. Just a plain baked potato.
Don't cut it down the middle.
Just leave it in the foil.
Eats it like an apple. No sauce.
None.
It's the middle-aged 80s man equivalent of cutting, is eating an unsalted plain baked potato. You know it's bad for you. You know it sucks, but you have to do it just to release the anger.
Johnny Cash's version of Hurt starts playing if they just take a bite. I hurt myself today. Nom nom.
I use whiskey and meth to forget about the 2 people I left in Bora Bora.
My God.
And if we're going down that road, this is very similar, and you're onto something. Here's the last one I'm going to do. From Diggity D, Mr. Delicious. You can eat here. This is how we're going to get you to come into our spot. All right?
All right. I'm ready.
This one's... I might have done this in the wrong order, but this is like the denouement. This is the return to stasis for you and I.
Okay.
Buongiorno. Mr. Delicious here to talk about the Rack's endless salad bar with new all-you-can-eat pizza and pasta. You know, Mr. Delicious stayed out a little too late last night, and he isn't feeling very well. So it's a good day for carbohydrates. Pizza and pasta will do the trick. Of course, having a wide selection of pizza is helpful on a day when Mr. D is having trouble focusing. He's bound to grab a slice of something tasty. And if you've ever enjoyed 2 for $1 night at the Rusty Anchor, You know how dehydrated Mr. D must be. Some free Coke refills will hit the spot. Plus, enjoying a long leisurely dinner at Rack's will help him avoid the wrath of Mrs. Delicious, who isn't very fond of the Rusty Anchor. In any case, next time you feel like Mr. D, try a heaping plate of pizza and pasta from the Rack's Endless Salad Bar for only $3.99. Tickety-dee.
Pizza and pasta available at participating restaurants. Rax, you can eat here.
Okay, first.
You can eat here. You don't have to. You probably should. So yeah.
No, I gotta make this point. They used the word Coke on purpose instead of Coca-Cola.
You're most likely not wrong.
2, the Rusty Anchor, definitely a gay bar for closeted middle-aged men.
Okay, so I almost went there too, but help me out. Because why do we think that? Because I went there too, but I could not quantify why I hear a place that could possibly be called the Rusty Anchor, and I'm thinking it is a gay bar for men on the down low. Why?
Because, especially during that time, you weren't men of that age. It was so unheard of to be gay, and it was less manly to be gay.
No. Yeah, but why?
Because I think Rusty Trombone.
Oh.
Not that the Rusty Trombone can't be a straight thing, trust me. But
love. But
love it.
What was the name of the? Oh no, I was thinking of Police Academy. That was called the Blue Oyster Bar. The same general idea of of the where they went way over the top, and everybody was dressed like the village people in there for some reason.
Yes.
Whoever did that had no idea what a gay bar looked like. But why?
There were a lot of leather daddies, and I've been in that bar.
Rusty Anchor, is it like a sailor reference maybe from the 80s? I don't know, because I thought the same way too.
Yeah, I immediately assume that the reason Mr. Delicious, which is exactly what a guy now would have on his Scruff account, so that no one identified him by his real name.
I don't know. I would put it on the back of my intramural softball fucking shirt when I'm running around in June. Like, who's that? It's Mr. Delicious. He plays shortstop when he's sober enough to do so.
Diggity dee.
Diggity dee, you can eat here.
Diggity dee, throwing it to 3.
But yeah, I thought the same thing, especially when you start talking about how Mrs. Delicious hates the Rusty Anchor. Yeah. Like, so Mr. D, the 2 people you took to Bora Bora, they were born with penises. They are clean, they are smooth downstairs, but that's where. And now what you do is you have drunk away all of the feelings, all of the thoughts, all of the emotions. You have put them in booze, and you have swirled them around
and into your briefcase.
And your never-ending pasta bar from 1987, which I'm assuming is 2 steps lower than Chef Boyardee is now, and the pizza is top-notch, obvi, because that's why they're still in business. And so
do you feel like Shoney's is too fancy? Then come on down to Rack's and have a pile of pizza with Mr. D.
It feels like they just needed a little bit more punctuation towards the end of Mr. D's career with a question mark. Just, you can eat here? Because all it seems like it is a couple of middle-aged men who are screaming about the fact that they hate children. They're pounding their own dicks because they're gay and closeted and hate themselves. And they're eating baked potatoes plain out of spite.
I had a long night last night of repressing my feelings and killing prostitutes.
Well, as we are now, I want you to realize what I've done here, Larry. Now we are over halfway done. I'm going to get to what we're going to ignore today, and it ties into Mr. Delicious. I did a theme!
Yay!
Larry, this is one of those episodes where we talk about a little bit about us. I want to talk about what we always talk, middle age. Do you consider we are the same age?
Yeah.
I mean, you're older than me by a lot.
By a whole week.
By a week. No, 6 days.
Yeah.
You're 6 days older than me. We might as well be.
I didn't realize there was going to be math tonight, or I just stayed more sober.
It's amazing to me because we are the exact same age.
Mhm.
We're both on our second marriage.
Yes, we are.
Our anniversaries are within 2 weeks of each other.
It's true.
That's just the date, but you've been married this time longer than I've only been 2 years, and you're at 6, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You and Nick are 6, I want to say. But we grew up in.
I can remember that because that's how old the dog is.
Hey, she listens to this, so good for you, and good luck getting pussy. God, that was caustic. That's the kind of thing you don't put on something you're recording and putting out into the world.
I don't have to worry about it. I got this magic dick, is what I got.
Yeah. The same way it's one of those. It's like a trick box. God damn it! Never mind.
You want to try that again? You want to take 2?
Yeah. It's like one of those magic kits you get it when you're 5 and you don't really know how anything works, but you still fuck it up, and your parents are like, yeah, it was supposed to be some flowers that came out of the magic wand. What did you do? You put syrup on it. Good for you. That's your magic dick.
Hey, what are you doing with that? My best. All right, buddy. Good job.
So, but we are aging we're very similar, but we're completely different. We're basically the same person if the same person could be an opposite version of itself.
Yes.
That makes no sense to anybody but us, but it does.
Yeah.
I call this the middle-aged tango. So...
buddy, we hit middle age 20 years ago.
Well, if you're going by math, yeah. Some people hold off saying they're middle-aged until their 50s. I'm like, yeah, there you go. A lot of people are hitting 105 around. No.
Yeah, middle age for me was like 28.
No. People who say they're middle-aged, they're like, life begins at 50. Those are the people who have, like, they're bald, but they have, like, the Caesar Jew haircut, but it's also in a ponytail.
Uh-huh.
Like those guys. It's like, and they still have a Mazda Miata.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Now here, don't get me wrong. If I hit 80, if I can reach 80 years old, I'm growing this motherfucking skullet out.
At that point, you've earned it.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's that kind of falls into... I mean, our opinions change, our priorities change, what we care about changes, and like, I used to think, I still don't think of myself as old. I still think of myself as a fucking child.
Yeah.
But it's different now because like I get to have apathy as a shield. I used to lament my apathy. I've always been apathetic. And like people, you want to go to the pep rally? I'd rather kill your children while you watch. No. The word pep disgusts me. It disgusts me when I was 16. It disgusts me now. I was paid to sing the national anthem for basketball games, and I got fired because I went, and the home of the brave, and walked directly from the middle of the gym over to the concession stand where I got my $20, and then right out the door. You have to stay for at least some of the game. Like, I do not. Well,
you did not hire me to watch the game. You hired me to sing the national anthem. And I did my part. Give me my money. I gotta go.
But now you get to wear like apathy as a fucking shield, man. Like, dude, I learned, and this is really shitty, and I end up apologizing for this up and down. But Ange and I were at one of her friends' weddings, the reception. Lovely time. They're really great party, great people. At the time, I'd only known all of these, like, these are like her college friends, and I met some of them. Some it was like the first time, blah blah blah, but some I was really comfortable with. You're standing in a circle with friends. You're comfortable with a few of them. They know you. The lion's share, they either are acquaintances or they don't know you. And a song came on from our wedding, and somebody said, Adam, you have to go dance with Angie to this song. And my knee-jerk reaction was to look at the stranger and go, I don't have to do shit.
Oh my god, yep, we are the same person.
Not realizing how caustic it came out, because I wanted it to come out cute, but also, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to dance for you, bitch.
Yeah.
It became a whole big thing. We definitely danced later. Yeah, we apologize.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I think that I figured out age. Well, here, before I go into my tirade, what does anything I just said invoke out of you idea-wise? Just emotionally. Like, the middle-aged tango, what does it look like? Because we're living it, but you don't really, like, talk about it. We talk about, like, cutesy little shit, but...
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'm with you. I never think of myself... I still think of as I still think myself as a kid because I don't have any jack shit figured out. Like, when I was a kid, I looked at people our age, and I'm like, they've got it all figured out. Turns out, everyone was just fucking faking it. But here's the difference. I think the difference is you and I and people like us can admit that, what are you doing? My best? I don't know. I'm just doing my best.
There's a difference between faking it brave face and faking it for the kids and faking it for yourself.
Yeah.
At yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the other, having kids, I've been very honest with them to a point. There's some stuff that I'm like,
they just found out a couple of months ago that 2 of them were complete accidents on this podcast.
Yeah, they knew that before that.
You've been telling them that since preschool.
Because Glenn did the math. He's like, wait a second, you and Mom got married when? And I was born... Oh no. And I was like, yeah, well, your name was almost Coleman Bushlight Cuervo Smith. So just... Because you were conceived in a Coleman tent, and it was because of Bushlight and Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, you know what, though? You made a good-looking kid. I love that kid. He looks the way you should have looked. He's like... if your extra chromosome wouldn't have been there... Yeah. You would have looked like him, and you had a much better life.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, he's a very handsome child.
He is.
Yeah, he's taller than me, and he's very strong. He's so strong. He's a good boy. He's sweet and he's strong.
Diggity dee.
Diggity dee. But I don't know. I don't, like, I'm with you. I don't think of myself as, like, any age. Like, I don't even think of myself as, I just, like, here I am. And I think that's the difference between, like, our generation and our parents' generation, where I think they were very aware of their aging. Like, my old man won't grow his beard out anymore because it's gray. And it freaks him out.
Well,
and me, I look at this.
Well, you got that guy going on.
That gray streak down the middle.
Larry is blonde from where he has hair, so we'll call it from the eyebrows down to his toes. But everywhere he wants hair, he doesn't have it. But he's got a beard like I do. His beard is bigger than mine, but he's got the gray is like where a soul patch would be, but a little bit more pronounced. It's like underneath his lips.
Yeah,
basically.
I get that gray streak
on the left and right jowl there.
Yeah.
Not that you have jowls, but you know what I mean, like underneath there. But men have it over women there, I think, because like when we go gray, for some reason, and I only have a handful. I've got like a couple here and there, but like I haven't really gone gray.
No.
But when we grow gray, it seems like it's symmetrical for the most part. And women, their hair is just like, here's a big patch here, there's a big patch over there, here's one in the back just to piss you off.
Yep.
Like, oh, they don't get to like the temples and like the
But when women, like, if like Nicole is genetically predisposed to like this silvery gray hair, and she's getting like some grays here and grays there, like you're talking about. But here in like 20 years, it's gonna all be this really pretty silver gray, and I'm gonna look like not Santa Claus so much as Santa claws his way out of a dumpster every morning. That's what I'm gonna look like.
Was that off the cuff, or have you been waiting to say that?
No, that was just the top of the old brain pan. Thank you, Jen.
It's not gold, but write it down. That goes in a bit somewhere. It's not the punchline, but that's some of the some of the relish in there.
Yeah, that's the paprika we were talking about earlier. That's the baked potato for Mr. D.
Diggity D, there's somebody in my trunk. I mean, Mr. Delicious is one more ad away from Jeffrey Dahmer. It's just like if Dahmer was able to hold it in. If he was able to hold it in until he hit middle age and only do a third of the stuff he really wanted to, he's Mr. fucking Delicious. And oh my God, horsey sauce. All you can eat cardboard pasta. Jesus Christ. And I'm going to say Mr. D was before his time, or way after, because with a little salt and pepper, you might be able to make that work, but they went really weird with it.
Yeah, well, and that's, if you look at ads now, because it's people like our age and a little younger that are doing advertisements now. And so a lot of it's like weird, dark stuff like you would have seen on The State or The Whitest Kids You Know and shit like that. It's those types of people that are doing advertising now. And so I think Mr. D really was way ahead of his time.
But just a little bit too harsh. I mean,
It
I was
was-
watching your face listening
Yeah.
to that. But you know what? You put that character in a Mammoth play, it makes total sense.
If you kids suck and so do broads. Anyway, you like beef?
It's not really designed to sell sandwiches, but it's
Come in and get the Rax number 8. The number 8 is just a plain baked potato, a black coffee with a shot of cheap whiskey, and just 2 slices of beef. What kind of beef? Good luck. Don't ask questions.
I have to get through this because I wrote it down.
Yeah, please.
And I don't know if this is going to matter, but I'm very excited.
Okay.
I have come up with a formula that explains age.
Okay.
And help me out and tell me if this is going to fucking crash into the ocean. And I'm fine with it. But the problem is it's true, so probably not. Middle age. Age is directly and proportionately related to the time, effort you spend in the bathroom in the morning, divided by devices, oils, and tinctures times pi. I only put times pi in there so you know that I didn't actually do any of the actual math. But if you were to go through all of the stuff that I do in the bathroom, I don't do this all like every day because that would be fucking insane.
Right.
But all of the stuff that does happen in there, when you're okay, so here's my theory. When you're a baby, at least when I was a baby out in the country, it wasn't like country, but let's say like it was a town of 2,600 people. The house was 100 years old then. The stove had no pilot light. You lit it with a match. Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of an old place. So when I was a baby, I never went in the bathroom at all. I was bathed in a sink. That just happened. So then, you end up going into the bath and the tub. When you're a teenager, what do? You splash some eau de toilette or whatever on your nuts. You hit it with a bar of soap, maybe shampoo if you're lucky. You look at the toothpaste and you leave. If I was to do everything I do, this would be everything. This would be my morning routine. I rarely do all of this stuff. I think I've only done all of this stuff once, and that was on Mother's Day last year for reasons I'd rather not go into. But so you wake up, you walk into the bathroom, and you look at yourself shirtless in the mirror, and it's the brightest fucking light that you have in the house. Okay? I now have baby tits, and so I look at myself and I lament. And that's just from like the sternum up. Okay? That's just from the sternum up. I'm blotchy already. I haven't done anything. So that's like 7 minutes of lamenting and being upset. Then, that's step one. Then number 2 is take a shit of questionable integrity. So this might be first, honestly, depending on an array of factors. It doesn't matter. The shit might need to happen first. And then, if it happens first, then you have to go back to the mirror in the bright fluorescent lights. And I have 5 fucking big-ass bulbs over the vanity. So after you take the shit, it may or may not involve sweating or pain. I don't know. Then you have to look at yourself and lament in the mirror. Okay, so that's the first time. And if it doesn't involve sweating or pain, then I read the news while taking a dump. So best case scenario is I've looked at my tits, I went, oh, that's sad. That's 7 minutes. I take a poop that doesn't hurt, and I read the news. That's awful. So that's anywhere between a 5-minute shit and question mark. Question mark, like, like if you get like a really shitty email invite to a birthday party, you know it's gonna suck. Like it happens from 10 to ... question mark, and you're like by 10:45, you're gonna be like, fuck this, fuck Paul, I'm out of here.
Yeah, fuck Paul.
So yeah, I'm not gonna worry about. We're just gonna worry about we're just gonna worry about the total time. I'm not gonna worry about how long it takes at this point. But 7 minutes at least of lamenting, and then shitting is whatever. So then you jump in the shower. I jump in the shower. There's another mirror that I put in there, apparently just to piss me off. That's my version of eating a fucking baked potato with a soul. So I keep that in there just so I can keep up the hatred. So I know really what's going on. But this is just the face. So there's shampoo. This is everything. Shampoo, then conditioner, then body wash, not soap. My wife, like my mom, buys me body wash that is for sensitive skin because in the last 5 years, I've developed terribly sensitive skin. And if I use too much soap, I get fucking hives and itchy parts, and it sucks. So we have different detergent and different soap for my body because I have to, because I'm old and my body's changing. I'm having like a second puberty, which is spectacular. I also, that soap, and then if I do all of it, there is a bar of antibacterial soap, and that's just for the nuts, because I love my wife, and some of that funk needs chemicals, so sometimes Dove ain't gonna cut it. Dove caressing your body for the ladies ain't gonna cut it on my undercarriage, especially if I've been hitting the gym, you know what I mean? So we do that.
You don't hit the gym.
No, but I do. I have been pedaling the bike for the last month, though.
Right.
Pedaling that bike for a half hour a day. Oh, and by the way, while all this is happening in the shower, I am not listening to music. I am listening to podcasts of either like the top 10 craziest dictator sexual crimes of all time, or like some manner of like news story where like people got shot in a mall over a hot dog. Like there's no like here's my day, here we go, like when you were a kid. No, this is just more lamenting put on top of that. So I'm listening to that. I also might just shave my balls. We're doing all this stuff. I've got 2 different razors for to shave my balls. So now I'm done. So now you get the towel off. Turn off the shower and you towel off. Stop me if you've heard this before. I'm looking at your face.
No, I can't wait to chime in.
This is a horrible. This is not a tight 5. This is a loose 8. So then you towel off, and that's my favorite / least favorite part, because then you get to manually feel all of your failure. You get to utilize the towel and touch all of the bits on you that have become jiggly and weird and hairy in places that you didn't know, and you go, hey, look at that. That looks different now. I don't like that. But you also have to do it because there could be a fucking lump somewhere that you don't think... As long as there's a lump here and a lump on the other side, you're okay. So you have to do that. So you towel off and you feel your own shame, and then you turn off the fucking podcast about the 10 worst things Caligula did to his horse. So that's what you do. Now it's time to shave. So I look in the goddamn mirror of horror, and I'm still shirtless because I should probably put on a smock at this point, just for my own sanity, but I don't. I trim my beard, which involves the first device, a trimmer. Never had to do any of this before, and scissors. I will invariably fuck this up. I will fuck up the symmetry. I'm going to go way too short on one side. I can't fix it. I refuse to shave it on the other side. So I just say, leave it up to Father fucking Time to fix, and I wait 2 weeks. So I can fuck that up again for 2 weeks. After that, I put on beard oil because it smells like coconut, and I found it at Kohl's, and I like it. Fuck you. I don't care. It makes me feel like the ocean. I'm going to do it. Next, another device, tweezers. Tweezers are specifically for ear hair. That's where my only hair is white, underneath my balls or my ears. There's the tweezers. There's a device for nose hair. Yeah, you put that motherfucker up there and you sneeze 7 times. Then there's a blow dryer or a hot comb. I don't do this often, but I do it sometimes because my hair is COVID long, and if I don't, I look like every fucking prospector from every western from all of time, and it goes fucking insane and it curls up in the back like an idiot. I trim my nails. Honestly, typically I do this in the shower. I trim my fingernails in the shower because there's a lot of shrapnel, and it keeps the shower curtain keeps the shrapnel in, and it goes right down the drain. But then you have to trim your toenails, and I do that outside of the shower because I'm fucking terrified that I will fall down and slip because it's so slippery and hurt myself and hurt my hip. So, you know what? I love my wife, but fuck her. Toenail shrapnel is her problem. I draw the line with fingernail shrapnel. I'll do my best at picking it up, but that's it. So toenails, not in the shower. I will slip and fall. I can't get up. And then it's time to do the teeth. Larry, my fucking teeth suck. So, teeth. I floss. I water pick. I have a new electric toothbrush, which is apparently run on diesel because the fucking thing is amazing. I have medicated prescription toothpaste. I shit you not, because my teeth are awful. I have 2 abscesses a year. I don't know how many crowns I have in there, and I guarantee you I'm going to be full dentures before I'm 50. And then mouthwash, the Axe stuff for kids because it has fluoride. Then deodorant. I powder my nuts, a quick feeling of loss, and then I'm done. How long did that take if I do everything, Larry?
That's got to be 45 minutes.
Jesus Christ. And that's not even the stuff other people do. I forgot. Sometimes you got to trim your fucking eyebrows because my eyebrows get bushy. I mean, like, I don't pluck white hairs. I don't do any of that. There's very little extra maintenance. Like, I don't even fucking wash my face most of the time. But that is insane, and that is what I have to do now. At some point, you have to realize that it's going to get less and less. It's like a bell curve. So the older you get, it's going to get less and less in there, because you're like, well, shit's broken down. You don't. You just let your ears be hairy. It's like you don't put Armor All on the dash of an '89 Ford Tempo anymore. It's like as long as the car still runs, you're like, we don't need the Black Ice air freshener. Screw that goddamn thing. And you just keep going. Thank you for letting me go through all that, because I wrote that down.
It's beautiful, and it was killing me. But
great.
you want to hear my morning routine?
Please, because I'm so done with everything I had prepared.
So we had to buy one of those sunrise alarm clocks that has like the bird noises and stuff, because we both have seasonal depression. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was like, we can't wake up in the dark anymore. So we set that for about 5:50. The birds start chirping and the sun starts rising, and then I roll out of bed. I go to the bathroom, to take a hard piss. Like a hard, like angry at the world piss. I splash my face with cold water, brush my teeth, put my contacts in. I wear the same workout clothes every day because I'm not going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just working out here. And then I come downstairs, and I either do some work with my dumbbells or my kettlebells, or I box on the old heavy bag.
Don't call her that. I like Nick. Hey! Dad jokes. Dad jokes and misogyny dad jokes.
And then I go back upstairs and drink some water and have a little coffee, and then I take a I do a I don't want to call it's that morning. I don't want to call it a morning constitutional, but it's almost too dirty to call it a shit. It is it's the I've logged into the day job while I'm logging out of my body. You know what I mean? It's a work of art.
I've worked on this phrase, and help me out. The good ones, it's a vacation that your asshole takes, and it allows you to come with.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much every morning. I go, all right, here we go, and it just, and we're good. And then I just, because it's then time to log into work, I just throw on some sweatpants. I get out of my sweaty clothes. I put on some sweatpants and a t-shirt, and then I do my just chugging coffee and water, and then around noon, during my lunch hour, I'll take a shower, and I just start with a washcloth, And I start here, and I just work my way down.
Here is his bald dome.
Yeah. Here is the top of my head, and I just work my way down. And
we start from this is manageable to the danger zone down to the balls, and then somewhere around the feet you're like, that'll probably take care of itself.
Yeah, I get to the ankles and I'm like, good enough. And then I moisturize my face because it's important.
Shockingly so.
And I do I'll do a little beard oil and a little beard balm.
Does yours smell like coconut? I like the coconut.
Mine's tea tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to treat yourself like that. It's not something that you did in Mr. D's time.
No.
But no, I just found it at, like, I said Kohl's, but I think this one was TJ Maxx. They had 2 of this, like, it's called Arlo's Cocoa Beard Oil for $1 a pop. I'm like, yeah, sure.
I like the Cremo beard the Cremo beard oil, and it depends on the balm. You know, sometimes I like to change up the balms, but you know, I'll let the oil soak in, and then I'll put some balm in, and that's it. Because as much as I have abused my body, I've also forced it to not suck.
We abuse the specific areas that have displeased us, and encourage the rest to complete our stupidity.
Well, and how many times? Now, not so much now, because I'm real bummed because I can't. Yeah, I have no idea what I was saying, and it doesn't matter, because I realize, buddy, that we've hit our time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, here, let me take a really quick sec. Oh, really? That was so forced.
It was.
That is the
We just had a Look, talking about aging, guys. We just had a conversation about the fact that both of us have been drinking. We both need to take a massive.
Oh, so we talked about that. Or fuck, we have to take a leak.
Yeah, we gotta piss. We both gotta piss. And so whatever I was talking about.
Welcome to the Sandlot.
Oh, here we go. So, what'd you learn today, buddy?
I learned several things. I learned that. Hold on, I wasn't prepared for this, and this is my episode. No, I learned that you went to a very weird, not weird, but amazing place with Mr. D, because you identified with men who were struggling 30 years ago when I just saw somebody who was probably a predator. And you were like, God, you know, a lot of times that's... So you just want to sandwich it in a baked potato because the world just keeps coming at you, man. And I did not go there. But you're probably fucking right, man, and I totally understand it. I totally dig it. I learned that nothing else. I learned nothing else.
Nothing else.
That's not true. I learned 1,000 other things. I just want to say thank you to everybody who listens to us. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, this is rad.
At zigandlarryignoreatopic@gmail.com. Listen to us on our YouTube channel, which is exactly the same as this, but in no particular order. So that'll be fun for you.
It's just up there. Hey, you know what I learned?
Tell me.
That your body is breaking down quicker rather than slower.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm scared.
It's not good.
But here's what I'm going to do.
Next month, and it's going to be a horror show.
Here's my plan. You know how Chewbacca carried C-3PO in that little backpack while all his parts were just stuffed in around him?
Regrettably, I know exactly what we're talking about.
In Empire? Yeah? That's what I'm going to do with you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I'm going to need that sooner than later. I am going to the doctor for my annual checkup in March, and the problem is that I am going to tell her the truth of everything, so you might not see me after that.
Well, and my doctor's office...
to Mayo Clinic after that.
My doctor's office called me in January, and they're like, it's been a while. Can you come in March? And I went, did my wife put you up to this? And they went, no.
When are you going?
March... I'd have to look at my calendar. March 3rd?
Fuck you. I'm going March 4th.
Shut up.
I know that episode. Zig and Larry, old men, went to the doctor, and we're just gonna. I'm gonna tell the truth to this doctor, and it's not gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm going to be telling the truth to this doctor, and then we'll tell the truth to the listeners. Zig and Larry, ignore the doctor.
We just thought. You promise? You
Oh,
will tell
absolutely.
The truth to the doctor, you will tell the truth to the listeners.
Absolutely.
Pinky swear over Zoom. Pinky swear.
Deedly-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Right.
Deedly-dee.
Deedly-dee.
Deedly-dee. Hey, I love you, buddy.
I love you back. Just don't put me in that fucking suitcase.
Don't put me in Mr. D's suitcase.
The best part's about hanging out with these guys. God damn it, son of a bitch, motherfuck.